not going to be talking about 1, 2, or 3 topics. We're going to be talking about a few topics in today's video. And if you know something different, I am trying to upgrade the quality of my videos. So I bought some lights. I don't know if she's giving, I don't like this shadow back here, but we're gonna figure it out. So we're gonna be covering some controversial legal topics in Louisiana. First, starting off with the permitless. So you can carry a concealed weapon without a permit in Louisiana.
By the end of the week, permitless carry will go into effect for most of Louisiana, making it easier to carry a gun.
There has been great concern over this legislation regarding permitless concealed carry for quite some time.
It's a decision lawmakers across the state supported.
This legislation is about making Louisiana a safer place to live.
But on Monday, city officials announced 2 legal loopholes. One would delay the law's start, and the other banned guns in much of the French Quarter.
It's using and applying laws that have always been on the books to deal with a current and real threat to public safety. This is not a workaround.
The details are complicated, but essentially the city found a legal loophole that will allow New Orleans to keep its gun restrictions in place for an extra month, until August 1st. After that, the NOPD would be forced to allow permitless carry.
I've always disagreed with that. I thought it was a bad idea to have the permitless concealed carry.
And to keep guns out of most of the French Quarter, NOPD opened a vocational training school in the 8th District.
The area within 1,000 feet of this district station will be a firearm-free zone.
That's because under state law, guns are prohibited within 1,000 feet of any school. Even after August 1st, there are a few instances where permitless carry still won't apply. If you're at a restaurant or bar that serves alcohol, or if your blood alcohol levels are above the legal limit, it is illegal to carry a firearm with or without a permit.
Guns and alcohol don't mix, they never have.
Minors and convicted felons are also prohibited from carrying weapons.
We're gonna use all the laws on the books every place we can to make the whole city safe.
So, of course that comes with some sort of, regulation, legislation put in place, because not just anybody can carry a concealed weapon, but you have to be a person that is 18 or older. The previous law to carry a concealed weapon with a permit is 21, which I think is still in place. Anyways, this is about those who want to get a gun without having a permit. So 18 and older, and you must not be a convicted felon. That's a whole slew of legislation if you are a convicted felon. At some point you'll be able to carry a concealed weapon or get your permit, but you have to usually wait 10 years from the date that you completed your sentencing, probation, or whatever, you didn't get in trouble. That was signed into legislation earlier this year by the governor, Jeff Landry, and that has gone into effect for most of Louisiana. And I say most because at the time we're filming this video, which is July 30th, New Orleans, which is an anomaly, of course, the law doesn't go into effect until August 1st, and you cannot, when it does go into effect, those in New Orleans, you cannot carry a firearm in the French Quarters. That is a firearm-free zone. It might not be it might be that way now, but I'm just letting you know. So for those who want to get their gun and want to carry it and conceal it, it's very important that you understand the law if you are going to bypass the educational training and things such as that. So that's what I'm here for. We're going to talk about some of the laws that you need to know if you're going to be out carrying a concealed weapon, but you didn't go through the proper training, the gun safety classes, and whatever it is else that you need to take. So it's important to note that once you have your concealed carry, you cannot go into a school zone within 1,000 feet. So you can't go onto anything K through 12, university, college. You can't go on a campus or anything if you have a concealed carry and you are a civilian. You can't do that. You can't. Another thing to note is that you can't go into a church, a synagogue, a place of worship if you have a concealed carry. You also can't go into a police station, law enforcement station, a prison, a jail, a detention center. You can't go to a polling station. with a concealed carry. You can't go into places where you have to be 18 and older, whether that's a bar, club, a casino. You cannot be under the influence, whether it be with drugs or alcohol, when you are carrying a concealed weapon. Also, another important thing to note, if you are going into a private residence, you have to let that person know, hey, I'm carrying a concealed weapon. May I have your permission to go inside your house? You have to receive consent before you go into someone else's home with a concealed weapon. Now, it is also important to note, if you are driving around with a gun, you get pulled over by the cops, you need to put all 10 digits or your fingers or your hands on the steering wheel, and you need to let the police officer know, hey, I have a gun in the car, and follow whatever the procedures or protocols that the police lawfully have to do in that manner when that situation happens. And so it's gonna be looking like the wild, wild west out here, you guys, here in Louisiana, since people are now gonna be out here carrying their pew-pews, pew-pews. So the biggest issue that some people have with this, right, is gun safety. So you can still get your permit in Louisiana to carry a concealed weapon. You'll just be paying like a fee, and you'll have all this training on gun safety. You'll be educated on the law when the police stop you. All those things will go into great detail, and you'll be very knowledgeable about how to properly carry a gun. And so some people find it, a little scary, saying like, well, we think people need to understand gun safety because then we may have more accidents. And that's true, that might just happen, right? But then the flip side to that, people are saying, hey, the crime rate in Louisiana is crazy. People are getting unalived. Such a silly thing because we have freedom of speech, but I'm just gonna say it. There's a lot of crime happening, especially in New Orleans, which is probably why it didn't go into effect when it went into effect in the other towns in Louisiana. But there's a lot of crime, and so people are, saying, we need to arm ourselves. We have the right to bear arms. We believe in the Second Amendment. And people will less likely commit crimes if they understand now you can have a concealed carry without a permit. This person might be, carrying a gun. They'll think twice before trying to carjack, rob, or do whatever the crime is that may happen. So that is something to take into consideration. Those are some of the arguments. But nevertheless, it is a law. It is in effect in most of Louisiana. And by August 1st, New Orleans, it'll be in effect in your town as well. So, one thing that I noticed that some people like to do in Louisiana is, and not just in Louisiana, but in general, buying or purchasing a handgun for a loved one. Now, is that permissible? Is that something you can do? Yes, of course. You can buy a handgun and gift it to someone. However, it's not against the law to do that. However, there are some precautions that if you are interested or considering purchasing a handgun, you may want to think about. First is you need to really, really understand and know the person that you are buying this gun for, and know that they are not a criminal. They cannot be a convicted felon or anything of the sort, or have some sort of issues that will permit them from not being able to get a permit or purchase the gun themselves. So you have to know that about the person, because that is considered a crime. The other thing to keep in mind is straw purchases, whatever that is, right? Guns are purchased and sold and trafficked every day here in America, in the world. And so it's important to understand that you are not going to be caught up in a situation where someone has coerced you to buy a gun for them because they can't and they want to sell it on the black market and traffic the gun. So it is important to know the person you are purchasing the gun for. Understand what the intent or how the person will use the gun, or what is the purpose of buying this gun for the person, right? The other thing to note is that be honest, right? When you go to the retailer, be honest about, hey, I'm purchasing this gun as a gift for a loved one. Because any federal licensed retailer in America, when they're selling guns, they have to conduct a background check. I would know because I went through the process of having to do a background check when I purchased my pew-pew, and that is something that's going to happen if you are going through a retailer that has a federal license. They will conduct a background check. Now, The next thing, this is the less romantic thing to do when buying a gift, right? But you may want to bring the person into the store or have them sign a bill of sale or whatever upon you purchasing a gun, just in case something happens. If the gun is stolen or used in the commission of a crime, you can show the cops, hey, here's the transfer of ownership. I bought this gun as a gift. Because things happen. And I think that's just a whole lot of rigmarole when you're trying to purchase a gun. And the best thing to probably do is bring the person to the store and say, hey, I love you very much. I knew you were into guns. I know you have a gun collection. I know you've been wanting this gun. So I wanted to bring you here to get you your pew pew gun, whatever. And just have them do the background check and you pay for the gun or whatever the case may be. So that's just food for thought. And I just wanted to leave that there because I know that there are some people who like to purchase guns. Maybe someone else has a better recommendation than what I just said in this video. I don't know. Leave it in the comments below if you think we have a better solution to that.